Hi, Susan here. Okay, we already got the pant sloper on the website. We downloaded it, fit it to our body types, made a design in the last video, did a mock-up in muslin in the last video. Now we're going to cut this pattern in fabric, either this one or this one, and that's what's next. Okay guys, before I get started, I want to say that if you don't know who I am, my name is Susan Elias. I'm a fashion designer for over 40 years, and I've worked both in the industry outside for other companies as well as having my own company. I'm an expert designer, draper, and pattern maker, and I started my YouTube channel to give as much of my knowledge away for free, which leads me to this other point. I've had people approach me asking me how they can support my channel. I'm going to give you two ways, and I thank you so much for even asking about it. And the two ways are, first, to of course subscribe to my channel, to click bell notifications so you don't miss my videos, to comment, to share, and to like my videos, and of course to watch the ads, because that's how I get paid partially. And the other one is, on my YouTube channel there is a membership level. You can click on that. I think on the laptop you can see that only, and I don't know if you can see it on the phone. And I have two levels. I have a very inexpensive way of basically supporting my channel, and I would love for you guys to come on board. Thank you again for even asking, and let's get started. I'm going to do a little recap and let's go. Okay, like I said, I have my sloper. This is my sloper set finally. For pants. It's long awaited. I have a two-part drafting videos on it, but a lot of you didn't want to deal with the drafting, don't want to really be a designer, but want to be able to adjust and make gorgeous pants that fit yourself. So I have this sloper set. I showed you how to, I also have a video which I'm going to link that shows you how to take this sloper set, to find the right sizes to go, to test it and to tweak it so that it fits you, so you have a beautiful sloper that fits your body. And then I made a little muslin trial on that. From there, this next video I showed you how to take that sloper and to make an actual design with the pant. And then we also did a muslin trial on that. I hope you see those videos. I want you to go and look at those videos. Now we're going to cut it out of the fabric. I have this gorgeous brocade, which I'm going to cut probably next because I want to test the pattern, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to test it in this patchwork denim so that I can be ready for the Gucci premiere movie. This is totally 70s and 80s. I even had a pair of pants with this, and it just gave me a lot of nostalgia. So we're going to cut it out and sew the first pant with this. That's what's next. All right, I have it here, laid out here. Make sure your grain lines are parallel to the selvage or the fold. You want to make sure that that's okay. I'm not matching any of these. It's just a matter of being a patchwork. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And I also have, this is the yoke band. It takes up a lot of fabric. It's about 3/4 of a yard of fabric because it's all in one piece. It also has to be just right, and it has to be interfaced. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these pieces out, and I will get right back to you. Okay, the entire band has to be interfaced. I always use this Trico interfacing, is fusible. And my trick is to get the actual piece, instead of the pattern, laid with the sticky side up and cut it so it's already pinned together and ready to be steamed and adhered to the fabric itself. So that is my trick. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this out and steam press it on to adhere the adhesive. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to try to explain the steps that I'm going to be doing. This is the front pattern with the fly front, and I cut that fly on both sides. The right side, you have to put interfacing, so I cut a piece like this, which will also align here and go over. And then I interfaced it inside like that. so that this is going to be nice and sturdy. This side will be going back like this. This side I'm cutting off. This is the center front portion right there. And I'm going to be cutting this side off. Because I have this piece here that is going to encase the zipper for the fly front on this side. First, I'm going to overlock or marrow this side here as well as this side over here. That is for the fly front. If I can explain what I'm going to be doing, I just pinned it together and it's like a science project, right? You guys probably already know that. So this is the fly front, and this side, the right side for women, is folded back. You know, on men's it's the other way. And you have to stitch first this side of the zipper, not all the way at the edge, but on this edge right here like that. And that folds back, and there'll be like a little bit of a gap there. And then this side is pinned and sewn down here near the teeth. And then this will be what's cleaning that later, or that's going to be backing the fly. We won't get ahead of ourselves. So I'm first going to sew this side down, and I'll be right back. As possible. So, and then it's zipped up. Okay. You've got the overlap like this. And now I've got to map out the fly top stitching before I put this piece in. So I have it here. I pressed it on this side so it's nice and flat. You know, you can try to close that section in the front just so that it stays nice and flat while you're sewing. And then I'm going to map out where I want to have the top stitching. I have to obviously get where that piece is. I'm just going to put some little dots where I'm going to put that stitching. Hopefully I can see those dots when I need to. Like that. Going all the way down. And then I have to make my shape or my curve. Like that. And where the teeth is going to be finished. So this is probably where I'll do it here. And like that. I'm going to do the top stitching here. Okay, so there it is. My curve as best I can do it. Back stitching there. I'm going to take the pins off and just check my zipper. So it's looking really nice inside there. It's covered really well. Now this back panel piece here, this is the last piece here that goes this way to protect yourself against the zipper. And that's just going to be sewn to the seam allowance that's already marrowed. Like that. I'm going to stitch that down like this, and then I'm going to back stitch the end of the zipper and cut that remainder off, and then we'll have that with the fly front like that. So we have that fly protection like that, and then I'm going to get rid of the rest of this. Hopefully I don't need that, and just stitch this. And cut that excess of the zipper out. I'll just go back to the table. I decided to top stitch this side. I wasn't going to, but I went ahead and did that just so it stays back nicely. It zips well underneath the back. It's good. So this panel now is marrowed on this side, and it protects the entire zipper from your body there. Top stitched back here. So we got the fly together. Now we're going to work on the yoke, preparing that before we put the pants together. So let's do the yoke now. This was the entire yoke. This is the top half. That is, I have my fusible interfacing on there. This is the back side. We're going to have this nice exposed bias piece that I sewed on this area right here. Now I'm going to put right sides together like this, and I'm going to clean finish the top of this and sew all the way around 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to back stitch that as well. I want to make sure that my centers match, and I don't have my notch because I chipped it off. Alright, so let's get the notch. I'm going to get the center to make sure I have the centers together. Here like that, fold it. Give myself a notch. The same with this one. Give myself a notch. Then I'm going to clean the waistband top half. Like I said, 1/2 inch all the way around, and back stitch it, and I'll be right back. Alright, after it's sewn, I'm going to trim to about 1/4 inch all the way around. I'm going to clip where necessary. I'm not going to back stitch it yet. I'm just going to press it because I have to know where the end is going to be and make that perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just press it now. Okay, I think the next logical step, since I'm doing this for the first time with you guys, is to marrow all of the crotch and the side seams on both the front and the back, and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to sew the back crotch in first. Half of an inch, lining up that marrowed edge. Okay, now that that's sewn up, the back crotch is sewn, I actually pressed it open. It is such a curved seam that I think it'll be okay bias. I'm not going to follow denim finishing, so to speak, but I do want to do the top stitching on the crotch. So I'm going to go ahead and do the crotch seam first, and I'm going to line up the crotch seam together like this, lining up that seam. And then I'm going to go down this way and sew that 1/2 inch, flip it over, and sew the other side. That way I know that's perfectly intact, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I did sew in the crotch, and I pressed the excess going towards the center front, or towards the front of the leg. And so let's flip that over. I do have a very predominant crotch in the back, and this is the moment of truth. This is where your pattern needs to be good, because once I top stitch this and all of that, it's not something that can be easily changed. So now I'm going to stitch right there all the way through the seam lines, keeping the excess going towards the center front, towards the front part of the pant. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to sew the side seams together, and I will be right back. I'm pinning the actual waistband onto the pant itself because I'm dying to try this on. I want to make sure it fits. Since I did not put darts on this pant, it has to be the right exact amount and angle, so I'm kind of tweaking it and seeing if this pant is going to fit me, and let's see if I can even try it on with these pins. That's next. Hey party people, so I actually tried it on. This is actually all pinned inside, so I'm being very careful. I kind of wanted to take it in a little bit more here, and here I put the waistband on so you can see that. I wanted to make sure that the shape of it fit. The inner seam, the inner leg is beautiful. The shape on the hem is nice, but I still don't like what's happening here. I want it to be much more tapered, so I'm going to actually take that in a little bit more before we get to working with the band. This is still all pinned in, guys, but I wanted you to see it and to see the process that when I'm working and when I'm sewing, I like to try it on a lot. I don't wait till the very end, guys. I don't. All right, let's get this tweaked. So this is my corrections I have here at the back and the side seams. I'm going to take out the pins and work on that. It's roughly another 1/4 inch. Well, actually the back is like 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch, and the sides are about 1/4 inch more that I'm going to take all the way down. This I'll just stop, probably at this point here. So this is not stretch. This is still woven fabric. But because there's no darts here, the angle has to be just right. And that's what I knew was going to happen, but I wanted to make sure. Most likely I won't be using anything bulkier than this fabric going forward, except for the silk brocade, which probably wouldn't be any thicker than this. And so the pattern will be, I want to adjust the pattern as well, but I'll go ahead and do those adjustments before we get to the waistband. So hopefully we have the shape nice. My little design is looking good. I actually did a little top stitching here as well so that the flare will stick out even better, or more I should say. And I put a notch for the center back of the band now, and I did put a stitch here because this is raveling more than I'd like it to be. I'm going to put center back to center back and then pin this all the way along the waistband like that. I sewed it the 1/2 inch to the band, the interface part. I cut off 1/4 inch because it is a curved seam, and then I pressed it back so that the excess is going, or the seam allowance is going inside, and then this is going to clean finish it. That's why that beautiful band is here for decoration as well, but you need to pin it actually from the outside. So you want to pin, because we're going to do what's called a crack stitch inside that crack, catching the band and putting the seam allowance inside. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that along, making sure that's nice and even here like that. And then on this side of the band, it goes all the way to the underfly, and that cleans all the way there. I'm not going to be putting buttons, or I'm going to be putting a very thick snap and a few hooks, hook and eyes that are, you know, designed for pants and stuff like that. So that's going to be here. And then on this side, usually, you know, you would chop it off here at the fly, but I don't like it when the hooks show, so I want to kind of make that extension. I already have the extension there, so it's kind of nice. I'm going to put this underneath here, and then this might have to be sewn in by hand or could be top stitched as well. I want to make sure that that's secure so I don't see that black band. And then from here, I can go ahead and pin, you know, crack stitch the band right there. All right, so I did the top stitching or the crack stitching all the way around the band. When it came to the end, I just stitched it together here as well as here. This side has the band just flush up against the extension. So that's done. I want to do the hem. So I'm just putting it together like this, checking the length, making sure it's okay. I did an extra little stitching all the way around because I really want that to stick out. And then I'm just going to, so it, you know, sticks out even more, I'm going to fold it one time about 1/4 of an inch or so, 3/8, and then another time, and then I'm going to top stitch. So I'm going to press that first and then top stitch the hem. Let's get to the closures. Now I'm going to put this heavy duty snap, and I hope it works. I'm going to put one right about here, and then I'm going to put the hook and eyes, 2 hook and eyes here to hold and close that. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this snap approximately here. Okay, I'm putting the snap in, and I have to make sure that I get actually all the layers, including the tiny bit of the front, or otherwise it'll look strange and pull. Putting it in here, finishing the snaps. Okay, the snap is finished. Now I'm going to put 2 hook and eyes here at the end. Hopefully they'll fit. I want to have that closure pretty secure. It's done. The hooks are there. I think it's about as stable as it possibly can be with that large snap. Just not sure how it's going to feel on, but we're going to get it on right now. Okay guys, there it is. So there's the new pant. It fits good. I like the pattern now. It's a little nostalgic, you know, going from this fabric that reminded me from way back, updating the style from your sloper pattern, becoming a design pattern, becoming this. All right guys, so get your sloper, fit Watch the videos on how to get the exact size and make your block pattern, and then design, design, design. All right, thank you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.